My first Mercedes. There comes a time in every Persian's life when they get their first Mercedes, and for some it doesn't happen until later, but it eventually happens. For me, it was when I turned 16 on the dot. Like I said, though, we weren't that Persian and we didn't have that much money, so the Mercedes I got wasn't that much of a Mercedes. The day I received my driver's license, my dad threw open the door to my room, his voice booming with pride. "Kayvon, you're now 16. You're my number one son. Therefore, in the garage for you is a new Mercedes." And with that, his eyes sparkled. "What? No way!" "Go ahead, check it out." I couldn't believe my ears. I ran to the garage, and then my heart sank. There it was, the most run-down, beat-up, sorry excuse for a Mercedes you have ever seen in your life. The hood ornament was dangling downward towards the radiator. The color was a brownish paint combined with rust and primer, so we'll just go with off silver on that. I recognized this car immediately. It had belonged to a distant relative who decided to get rid of it because it had over 200,000 miles on it, so naturally my father wanted in on that action. This thing came fully loaded with cracked leather seats, stained carpeting, wood floors, broken speakers, and springs that squeaked long after going over a speed bump. Best of all, no air conditioning, because after all, who needs that during 114 plus degree summers in Las Vegas? You know they say it's a dry heat? Well, somebody needs to tell that to my insert body part here. Sensing my displeasure, my dad had a response for every one of my objections. "What's wrong? It's Mercedes." "Dad, you said it was new." "It's new to us." "Dad, it's a diesel." "But it's turbo." "This car is 5 years older than me, Dad," which makes it classic. You don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, especially when you know that horse has advanced dental problems, so instead of argue, I reluctantly got behind the wheel and decided to make the best of it. But before I could put the key in, my dad stopped me, giving me detailed instructions on how to properly start the car. You know how most cars you just put the key in and it starts? Yeah, not this one. First, turn the key halfway. Allow the engine coils to warm up for 3 minutes. Once the light goes on, it alerts you the engine is ready. That's when you know it's time to turn the key all the way. Once the engine starts, let it warm up for 5 minutes before driving. Open the hood and make sure all the belts are running. By the time I completed this whole process, I'd missed a week of school. When I finally pulled out of the driveway, diesel engine roaring, squeaking down the street on worn-out shocks, many philosophical questions ran through my mind. Much like if a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? Well, is having a large back seat even a good feature if no girl wants to get in it? Another question I had was, shall I enroll in auto shop class to ensure this hunk of metal keeps running? And most importantly, what are the odds I'll be able to return this thing to Costco as well?